This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Monte.
Carey Ann. Jason Hoover is in the house. And we've got a guest, which I don't know. I must have lost my mind there for a second. I don't know what to say, guys. I think I lost my mind. I've invited an iBuyer into our midst.
What?
I've invited an iBuyer into our midst. I hope everybody's listening here. This is something everybody needs to know about. Okay?
I love it.
Harvey Freeman of Offerpad. So
welcome, Harvey.
Welcome, brother.
You.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We're excited to have you. Yes, this is a big deal, Harvey, for you to be associated with an iBuyer family and being invited into this world here with the one and only.
I didn't tell him because I was afraid he wouldn't come. You know, if I told him
scary.
that I've been
what, for 3 years?
I've been calling.
Yeah, don't go look at the other or watch the other episodes. Okay, don't
all 700 of them.
That iBuyers are the devil. I've said that more than once, just for the record. Okay,
I feel honored to be here. Then, thank you.
Well, there's always a need, maybe a place.
No, everybody needs to know about Offerpad, just like we all need to know about all these companies. You know.
Yeah.
But the reason why he was invited, then the other ones have not and will not. That I can imagine, you know. I mean, if somebody held a gun on my head, maybe I would let one of the other guys come in. I doubt it. I just take my bullets. But it's because, unlike these other companies that are calling themselves iBuyers, Offerpad is on the agent side.
Okay.
Now, that's just not BS. I mean, I've sat down through the presentation. I've looked at their behind the curtain. I believe they're legitimate.
All right. Well, we love that.
So,
we love people that are working towards helping all. So, but before we get started with Offerpad and getting to meet Harvey, let's talk about our amazing sponsor. We're so grateful for Music City Removal. They're the #1 junk removal service in Nashville for residential, commercial, and construction. They're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. So whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because cluttering cute.
Shazam!
Speaking of this, I got to tell a quick story, guys. I don't know, this is off track. I get it. But, you got to keep things alive, But so anyway, Jason knows part of this story. We sold our home recently for way more than we imagined we could get for it. Connie and I did. And I was so nervous through the process. I mean, I can't believe this. Now, here's a guy who's helped thousands of families over the years. But when it comes to me, I become this, panicked seller and started.
It is hard to be your own seller.
It is hard being your own seller. I should have got a good realtor instead, but and I know a bunch of them. But anyways, so we get, over $250,000 more than asking price on this house, which was already, a whole lot more than what we paid for it just a couple years ago. And I was so nervous, Carey Ann, that I actually made a trip. We ended up having to rent something in West Nashville, couldn't find something in Williams County. So I made trips just to do the minutest of things, not just cleaning out the pool every morning, but all this stuff, because we got out before it was closed. And one day I even delivered a plate cover. That's all I took over there was a plate cover, because I wanted to make sure everything was just right, okay? Because here I sold a $1.7 million home. I wanted to make everything right. I didn't want anybody getting cold feet. Is it wet feet or cold feet? I didn't want them getting feet, so and changing their mind. So anyway, we closed on the property, and the next day, somebody delivers. I had to go by there to pick something up in the backyard, yeah. Somebody delivered the largest dumpster I've ever seen. I mean, and bringing out in large armfuls was these workers bringing drywall out and chandelier out and light fixtures out and all this stuff out. and throwing it in the dumpster.
Oh, of your house.
Of my house that I owned, that was so immaculate and so pristine that I even made a special trip just to put up the wall plate. So
they didn't like your fixtures. They didn't like your drywall.
They apparently didn't like anything. They gutted the house.
But
Wow.
did they keep the wall plate?
That was the moral of my story. I don't know. I'm sitting on this anticipation, but no, seriously, that was.
Someone else's treasure is someone else's junk, or junk is someone's treasure. I don't know. The storyline.
Well, I guess my treasure turned into somebody else's junk because they filled up the largest dumpster I've ever seen. So, anyway, I've always told people, look, it's questionable whether they should replace the carpet or not, because I've seen many times where there's a pile of carpet outside the door, after closing and all those kind of things. But anyhow, it was amazing. None of us are exempt from worrying about buyer remorse, I guess is the name of that story. I don't know.
Well, when we bought a house, we gutted the kitchen because I wasn't into white. I like rustic. Redid the entire kitchen, put it on the market. Bought it, and they redid the entire kitchen again back to white.
That's what I'm talking about.
So what I'm getting at is sometimes we like it for the bones, right?
Yeah.
We don't, one person's taste may not match the other. So,
Right.
And that's why we were on ours. That's why we were delayed getting it on the market, because we're having the whole kitchen redone, and it ended up in the dumpster. We could have just dumped it in the dumpster and
there you have
saved
it. And you
those
could have
thousands of
called
dollars.
Music City Removal.
Well, I wish I had, except
.com.
I thought it was, I didn't realize that's where it was going to end. But anyway.
So hopefully there's nothing junk about today with Offerpad and Mr. Harvey.
But part of the segue is that very thing, right, Harvey? Is that you guys, you're not looking for the pristine home. You're looking for the one that needs some love. You offer a fair market price. If it's not listed yet, you pay the real estate commission the realtor involved who gave you that lead a 3% commission.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Talk
Sounds
about
good.
what
already.
Offerpad
You're
is
paying
all
real
about.
estate agents. This is a win already.
I like Harvey already.
You are welcome to the party.
Yeah, that's usually how I like to start the conversation. We do pay a 3% referral to agents if it's pre-MLS, and the other stipulation is if it's they have to supply some photos of the interior of the house.
Okay.
In addition to that, it can't have received an offer within the past 30 days from us. So it has to be a kind of a new home that we haven't seen.
Eyeballs
They
haven't
send it to
touched.
us. It's not on the MLS, and they're able to provide some photos of the interior of the house. If all those factors are met and we purchase the home, we'll pay that agent a 3% referral.
Wonderful.
Wow. I mean, that seems risky to me. I mean, are those like high definition? I mean, how many photos are you getting? The walkthrough kind of photos?
We'll do anything. We'll do, we have on our format, on our app, we have a setup where you can do a virtual walkthrough where they'll, get a link sent to them, and they can walk around with their camera and do a video of the house. Or, sometimes they'll just text them to me, text them to our team.
Okay.
We'll take any kind of photos we can get, but the better the photos, the better our offer is going to be. So if it's just a photo of the front of the house and maybe one of the bedroom and then one of the back, we're able to do more and make a stronger offer, a better offer. The more information we get, the better the photos are, the more information, all that kind of stuff really helps with the offer.
Yeah, so a simple phone can provide what you need.
Absolutely. Yeah, most folks are using their iPhones to send us the photos.
Okay.
Are you looking for I'm assuming you're looking for a listing agreement as well, right? We can't just go up and down the streets taking pictures and
that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Because you're looking to.
And that's why we ask for interior photos, right?
Okay.
So that we're not getting just a photo of the house and then a realtor's sending the request on their own and then they knock on the door.
So the intention is for you to purchase this home that I'm referring over to you.
Absolutely.
And you're looking for a home that you shared is not pretty, meaning you like a few dents here and there?
We'll take a pretty home as well.
Okay.
We'll take any type of home. Our buy box really sets us apart from our competitors.
Okay.
We'll purchase, I think the cheapest home we've purchased in Nashville, and it's hard to imagine, was about $123,000.
Wow.
And we'll go up
that must
to,
have been a front door or something.
Yeah,
It
right.
could have been much more to it than that.
And we'll go up to $1 million here in Nashville. As far as the age of the home goes, we like to keep, 1970s, 80s, 60s. We will make offers on older homes, but it's going to take a little bit more due diligence on our end. as far as the parts of town and area, we're in Lebanon, Columbia, Mount Juliet, Murfreesboro, Clarksville, obviously all of Davidson County. So we have a pretty large area that we'll service and buy homes in.
Very nice.
And like Monte said, the condition of the house, we'll buy homes that need just a simple cleaning, that are ready to go, ready to put a sign in the yard. But we'll also buy homes that need, a full remodel, that need $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 worth of renovation. That's not going to scare us away. We'll still make offers on homes like that.
So right now with the listings, I would assume people are going now. They were a few months back. You tell me something different where you're going in, with a list price, assuming you're going to get over list, Jason or Monte, right now?
Yeah, it depends on the price point.
Okay, so with Offerpad, are you coming in list under, or how are you evaluating how you would purchase that home for?
Most of the homes that we get are pre-MLS, so they don't necessarily have a list price yet.
Okay.
We do get some that are listed on the MLS, and we've offered $5,000 below, $5,000 above, right at list.
Okay.
So it's really just kind of like Monte's saying, it depends on the home, depends on the area. If it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and a subdivision with tons of comps, and we have a high level of confidence that we know this house in 30 days is going to sell for this, we're going to be very aggressive with that offer.
So you referenced 50 or 60,000, let's just say, of upgrades, right? So you look at this house and you ballpark it that way. Are you coming in, at the so-called base price? We won't say list because it's not yet listed, but let's say the thought of the price. Are you then going in and then charging back a certain fee, or are you, that 50 or 60 back so the net to the seller is less, or are you coming in 50 or 60 less, or how are you figuring the plan out? Because I know, being with you for so many years here, that was a big whole thing that you were like, well, check this out, but this hidden fee is here and this hidden fee is, type of thing. And that by the time you get down to it, the seller really truly net less by utilizing an iBuyer. That was your whole thing. Versus a regular, seller. So the intention of why I would want to sell my house to Offerpad is what would be the win there?
The win would be the convenience. So I feel like right now in this market, the hardest thing is not necessarily selling your home, right? I feel like that's pretty easy. Anybody can sell their house right now. The hardest thing is finding that new home that you want to buy. So by selling your home to Offerpad, what you're doing in essence is, we're not going to live in the home. We're not going to move into the house. We're not selling another house. It's not contingent on our financing. We're making a cash offer, and we're flexible, right? So if they need us to buy the house in 7 days, we can do that. 30 days, we can do that. 90 days, 45 days. So they can set it up if they're building a new construction, for example, and they want the offer now, but their new construction isn't going to be ready for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months down the road. We can work with them and say, okay, well, here's the offer, here's the fees, and we'll close in February 2nd. Okay. And that will coincide with the completion of your new construction. So I think it gives the sellers, because right now in this market, it's you put your house on the market and you kind of lose control in a way, because it is such a crazy market. People are offering, way over list price in some neighborhoods in some cases. So being able to have some of that control back and to make it an easier process really helps out a lot. Yeah,
that's a win for sure.
Well,
right?
the other O company, which we won't mention, they made their whole existence really around convenience and certainty, the topic of certainty. So I see the value there. I like the attitude, though. You're not trying to root out the real estate connection there. You just see the value of the relationship with realtors.
Absolutely.
And that is not just in word, correct?
Yeah,
that is
absolutely.
Indeed.
Yeah. If we, again, we love getting referrals from agents. The requests, we love getting requests from anyone. But from agents, it's a professional. This is not their first rodeo. They've done this before. They know what they're doing. They know what they need to disclose. They know what's going to come up in an inspection. So it really makes it, on our end, a much easier process dealing with an agent. We prefer that.
So again, normally when you and I are thinking of a list price, and I understand right now we're not talking list because it's technically not listed, but within that you referenced, you possibly have already talked about a 6% number, right? 3 and 3, or maybe sometimes it's a 3% number, right? 2 and 1, I don't know. What, I guess it's negotiable, right? That's
the word on the street.
Okay, I guess that's the case.
Commissions are negotiable.
Yeah. So in your situation, it's not in the purchase price. It's coming from you,
That's right. So if just for easy numbers, let's say we make a $100,000 offer on a house. There's an agent involved. We're going to charge that seller 5%. So we'll charge them $5,000. Of that $5,000, we're going to turn around and pay out $3,000 as a referral to the agent. So the net to the seller would be $95,000.
Okay.
So it's a pretty similar. The standard in most parts of the country is about 6%. For a seller, and with the agent program, we charge 5%.
And I know some of these iBuyers, they require for it to be fixed up, repair, painted. Do y'all do that?
No.
You just take it as is?
We take it as is. We're not going to ever go back and ask for them to do the repair themselves.
I love that.
That's very
See, that's where that other company lost me, because they offered a price, then showed the fee, and then came in with a 2-page 2 pages of repairs, proposed repairs to make the seller feel bad, and then didn't do any of those and just turn around and flip the house. We're not talking about that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. If we try to bake in all of the cosmetic stuff, the paint, the carpet, if the house needs updated cabinets to resell, a roof, things like that, we're gonna if we ask for that, and we don't know about it during the request period, which usually we will, 9 out of 10 times we're gonna know the age of the roof. We want to know the age of the roof. We want to know the condition of the kitchen. That's why we ask and require all those photos. But if we come back and ask for something in the a repair addendum, we're gonna 100% do that work.
So Harvey, help me understand the process again. The agent is sending you the contact. Reaching out to one of your agents and saying, I've got a property here. Here's the listing agreement. Here's the photos. When do you guys actually lay eyes on the property? Surely before you close on it, before you play anything out, right?
During the inspection period.
Okay, there's an inspection period, okay? That's what I would have thought.
The process is and what we've tried to do and what we do is it's very similar, almost identical to just a standard real estate transaction. So a realtor would send the request, 123 Main Street, here's the address, they send it to us. We immediately start underwriting the home. We start looking at it, looking at comps, looking at anything we can get our hands on, looking at the photos. There's about 25 questions that the realtor will, the age of the roof, when was the last updates, there's several sections where they can put in, they redid the deck, they did this. So we're going to have a good bit of information about the house. We look at every little thing we get our hands on. Then we make the offer through the agent. We're never going to reach out to the homeowner at that point. If an agent's involved, that's our contact. We deal strictly with the agent, just like a regular transaction. We make the offer. They either accept it or don't, or they counter. So we go back and forth. We get to the number. They accept. They sign. When they sign the agreement, that starts a 10-day period where we have 10 days to inspect the house. And I don't want to sit here and say, 50% of the time we, take it as is, nothing's asked for. But more often than not, we do just go ahead with the deal. We've already looked at it. We already know what we're going to have to do. So we build in, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 of renovation. So we're not having to go back to them and say, well, the carpet's old. It's a little bit older than we thought. So we're gonna take off $3,000. We don't do any of that to basically change the price. That's not the point. We do the inspection if something is, if they say it's a 4-bedroom house and we get to the house and say, actually this is not a bedroom. This is a walkway to the kitchen. Just because you had a bed in there doesn't make it a bedroom. It's a 3-bedroom, so that might change it. So it'd have to be something pretty major like that.
So you guys are a national company, as my understanding. What markets are you in?
We are in basically all of Florida. We don't go down to Miami quite yet, but we're in Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville. We're in virtually all of Texas. We're in Nashville, Denver, Atlanta, Indianapolis. I think I said Denver, but I'll say it again.
All right,
Denver. And Phoenix, and that's actually where we started. And that's our company was founded by a realtor, by a broker who had a brokerage in Phoenix, and started from there. In 2015, we became Offerpad and have grown ever since then.
So do you look at the house and sometimes say no?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Even if it fits in the buy box up to $1 million and this or that?
Yeah, so going back to the buy box, the things we won't buy.
Okay.
We won't buy a manufactured home.
Okay.
We won't buy, and I like to tell people, we won't buy a house with a barn on it. So if it's 3 acres and a chicken coop and a barn and a shed, we're probably not gonna make an offer on that house. We like to buy.
What do you got against chickens?
We're just
or manufactured homes.
Not
I mean, I'm a queen of your devil white over here.
Yeah, it's a lot of times the highest and best use for a house like that might be to tear it down and build 5 houses on it, 6 houses. That's not us. We like to stay and do what we're good at, which is buying a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Murfreesboro for $400,000. That's kind of our wheelhouse. As far as parts of town, we're virtually, we don't really discriminate any parts of town. We'll buy anything.
Okay.
You said Murfreesboro like you lived here.
Yeah.
Have you been around before?
Yeah, I'm from Nashville.
You're from Nashville. You're a native here,
Yeah.
and you're working for an iPad.
Yeah.
I mean, for a iBuyer.
So going back to now, you bought the home.
Yeah.
So now what?
So, and this is, I think, what really sets us apart. We have a internal crew that goes in the day we close on the house. We're all rallying together and going to the house, and they're starting the demo. Right. So if we're ripping out the carpet, they're ripping out the carpet that day. If they're ripping out, vanities in the bathrooms, they're in a dumpster or a truck that day. So we start the renovation, and we like to turn the houses very quickly. So we get out there, we do all the work we're going to do, and we have a gentleman, and his sole job is making the decisions as far as, we're going to paint this wall gray, we're going to paint this wall yellow, we're going to put in this kind of countertop. So we know going into it what we're going to do. We know what everything's going to look like. We know where we're going to price it because we know, the upgrades. We know what we paid for it.
Sure.
We know what we're going to spend on it. So we, kind of have a plan and execute it and get it on the market and try to get it sold quickly.
So you probably are familiar with, the flip rules, et cetera, et cetera. So are you aiming towards looking for more conventional buyers, more conforming buyers, more cash buyers, people purchasing?
We're all over the board. We're some homes we hold and rent. Some homes we turn around and sell. Sometimes we'll sell to investors. So we'll sell homes to a bunch of different kind of ways.
And so when you're selling, what do you do you support the buyer's agent again and pay a buyer's agent that brings in a buyer to purchase that home that's listed?
Yeah, if they're working with a buyer's agent, we will pay commission in that scenario.
Is that 3% as well?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
And they have their own staff, their own agents that then turn around and remarket it when they do remarket, right? Okay.
Huge win, I guess. So why would I not,
I'm trying to find negatives there.
So if I was a listing agent, I'm in my listing presentation. So the charge is 5% across the board. So why would I not bring that up on day one as just an option if you don't want the headaches of listing, and going through that whole process of...
Well, I'll tell you why. I can get more for that house than he'll pay. That's the reason why. But there are those situations, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but there are those situations that if the client they just want to head out of Dodge. And they, and
but how much really could you get more?
How much more? The sky's the limit.
Okay.
Well, and this is, the way I feel about it is that, iBuying has been coming. We've talked about this, and it's not a fad. It's some of these people like to think. I mean, it is a real business. It's going to be here. It's going to stay. Yep. And I think as a professional, you had that conversation anyway because. I mean, people are intelligent. They're researching, and they will see, even on their Facebook feeds and stuff, they'll see these closed window people, these willow-type places, wanting to buy. I think as a professional, say, hey, let's look at all options for you, and together we'll figure out what's the best scenario. And which would be, Offerpad would be one of those scenarios for them. And see, it may be a better fit for them to go that way. It may be a better fit for them to stay if they've got the time, whatever that may be.
So you could give me your option and I could choose not to take it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
so at that point, it's only 5%, which is probably less than the norm, right? Because you would normally be doing something of 6%. What's the harm?
There is no norm.
Okay.
No norm.
Making sure there you go. You're right.
Once in a while,
All negotiable. So, but this is a 5%, and why not C? I don't like, and I allow for the convenience,
Yeah.
the flexibility, the opportunity, you know, for me not to have to stress about taking the eyeballs off the walls and you know decluttering and all that stuff, because you're just looking for the bones and you're not worried about, oh, I'll give you a different price if you didn't have dead animals on your walls or something,
exactly.
right? Yeah. So
Well, I
that
think
might work for some people.
Jason brings up, a really important point that I had to finally embrace, and that is there are those occasions where an iBuyer makes more sense. To me, this iBuyer makes more sense than the other options out there.
Well, especially if they don't, push away, the hardworking real estate agent,
And I'll say I like it better, and I'll just say it out there, is that it seems like they come from more of a stance of integrity. They're not trying to hide the extra cost.
Right.
That's what I can't
Transparency.
stand. Right? The transparency of it, I really like about what you shared. Whereas the other ones, it's so aggravating. To me, it just felt slimy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, I don't want to talk about our competitors negatively, but what I do want to say is we started as a real estate company. We started as a broker and agents and grew into the tech space to having, doing everything online, and really grew into being an iBuyer, where some of our other competitors started off as technology companies and have grown into the real estate business where, I feel like today you see that we're you work with us and you deal with us.
You've got the heart of a real estate professional.
When you come to our office, every single person has been in real estate for 10, 15, 20 years. Not many people were not in the real estate business. Every person we have, our acquisitions, our general manager, our director of asset management, me, we've all been in real estate, and our agents and have licenses and have worked in this market before.
I love that. So you have a local presence.
Very much so.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. So you're not calling a 1-800 number and you're somewhere
That's
in
right,
the
yeah.
Denver area
Yeah.
or whatever.
Speaking of which, Harvey, how can our viewers get a hold of you at Offerpad here locally, and if they've got want to have a conversation, or maybe have a broker listen to this, wants to have you into the office and talk to their company about? What's
The
best way?
easiest is harvey.freeman@offerpad.com is my email address, and my telephone number is 615-573-2994. And if they just want to send us a house right out of the gate without calling, without speaking to me, they can just go to offerpad.com/agents. It'll get pinged to me. We'll know about it, and they'll put all the information in, and we'll go from there.
And what's the turn time with understanding maybe the price you would purchase?
So once they submit the request, about 24 hours.
Okay.
So we're turning around pretty quickly.
I mean,
So-
I'm thinking back, like I'm wearing the CEO hat, I'm a listing agent, they're not going anywhere. Embrace the iBuyer option versus somebody finding out about it after the third listing agent. And you're like, why didn't you tell me about this, on the first listing appointment type of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
and
avenue.
And I think what's important to keep in mind, and Monte kind of brought this up, is we're not the best buyer for every single house. And that's not what we're claiming to be. What we're claiming to be is the perfect solution for some folks.
Yeah, a great option.
You might have,
great option.
10, 15, 20% of your clients that we would be a great fit for. If it's a $3 million house in Brentwood, we're probably not your
Right.
buyer. We're probably not going to be able to make a competitive offer on that
Right.
house. And I know I keep going to Murfreesboro and Mount Juliet and those kind of places, but if it's a listing like that we can get a lot of great comps, we're going to be very aggressive with those offers.
Yeah, I mean, we have multiple solutions, multiple options, when you're about to list, right? iBuyer's one, amazing, agent who can get you more. The sky's the limit is option two. You could really lay those out, and have the true seller make that decision.
Yeah.
Harvey, this has been really helpful. Thank you so
So
much
good.
for
So
joining
good
us today,
information.
man. This is new territory for me. Everybody will can
stepping
confirm
out,
that
guys.
I'm
He's
actually
stepping out.
embracing an iBuyer here in Middle Tennessee. But I think you guys are doing a great job. So
Again,
thank you.
it's
Thank you.
573-2994, 573-2994. Thank you so much again, Harvey. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you.
listening. We will see you next week. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.